A friend of mine called me a few weeks ago, and she was at her absolute wit's end. Her beautiful, happy 10-month-old daughter was waking up 6, 7, sometimes 8 times a night. My friend was a ghost. She was exhausted, frustrated, and felt like she had tried everything, every sleep training method, every swaddle, every sound machine. But as she was describing what was happening, this light bulb went off in my head. A connection sparked between her story and the countless developmental studies I'd been poring over. And I realized her daughter's problem, it wasn't a sleep problem at all. It was a developmental issue caused by one of the most common, seemingly harmless habits that so many of us parents fall into. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm not a doctor or a physical therapist. I'm a mom who's made it my mission to read all the parenting studies and developmental books so you don't have to. Welcome to my little corner of evidence-based parenting. And the connection I made for my friend is something I believe every single parent needs to hear. Here's what was happening every night in her house. Her daughter, who we'll call Sarah, would be sleeping soundly. Then, in her sleep, she would roll from her back onto her tummy. And the second her chest hit the mattress, she would wake up, lift her head, and start crying, a distressed, "I'm stuck" kind of cry. My friend would see it on the monitor, drag herself out of bed, go into the room, and gently roll little Sarah back onto her back. Sarah would quiet down and drift off to sleep for about 90 minutes. Then the whole cycle would start all over again. Roll, cry, rescue, repeat, all night long. It was a relentless, exhausting cycle of misery for both of them. So what was the real problem here? The root issue was that Sarah, at 10 months old, could not roll from her tummy to her back. That's a motor skill that most babies master by around 7 months. So why was she so far behind on this one crucial skill? The answer was a simple habit my friend had started when Sarah was about 6 months old. The moment she learned to sit up with a little support, every single time my friend put her down on the floor to play, she placed her in a sitting position. And let's be completely honest, this is a trap we can all fall into. I've been there. When a baby can finally sit up, it feels like a magic trick. They stop fussing because they can see the world. Their hands are suddenly free to explore toys. And you finally get a moment to make a sandwich, to answer an email, to drink a cup of coffee while it is still hot. It's convenient, it makes them happy, it just works. Does this sound familiar? Let me know in the comments if you've ever fallen into this easy routine. No judgment here, truly. We're all just trying to find what works. But this convenience has a hidden cost. Imagine you decide you want to get in shape, so you go to the gym. And at the gym, you only do one exercise, bicep curls. Day in and day out, just bicep curls. After a few months, you would have incredibly strong biceps. But what about the rest of your body? Your legs, your back, your core, they would all be weak and underdeveloped. You couldn't run a mile, you couldn't lift a heavy box off the floor. You'd be strong in one very specific, isolated way, but you wouldn't be truly fit. This is exactly what happens when a baby spends all their playtime in a sitting position. They get really, really good at sitting. They develop the core strength for that one position, but they completely miss out on the full body workout that they desperately need. But here's the thing, if your baby is always placed on the ground sitting up, they get really good at one thing, sitting. And they miss out on practicing and developing a whole universe of other critical skills, foundational skills. Skills they can only learn from playing on their back or on their tummy. Think of time on the floor, on their back, and on their tummy as your baby's version of a full body workout. It is absolutely essential for strengthening their arms, their legs, their back, and their entire core. But most importantly, floor time teaches them the single most important foundational skill in all of gross motor development. And that skill is weight shifting. What is weight shifting? It sounds technical, but we see it happen 100 times a day. Picture this. Your baby is on their tummy on the playmat. You've placed their favorite colorful block just a little bit out of reach to their right side. They see it, they want it, so they lift their head and they begin to reach with their right arm. To do that, they have to instinctively shift their body weight over to their left side. Their whole torso rotates, their weight transfers onto their left arm and left hip. For a split second, there's a wobble, a moment of instability where they almost topple over. But then, their tiny core muscles fire up. Their left arm pushes into the floor to stabilize them. They find their balance, they stretch, and they grab the toy. Success! That tiny momentary struggle, the lean, the wobble, the correction, the success, that is developmental gold. That is weight shifting in action. And that single skill is the direct building block for literally every major milestone to come. It is the weight shift that allows them to get an arm free, to push, and to roll over. It is the mastery of weight shifting that allows them to balance on 3 limbs while moving the 4th, which is the very definition of crawling. And it is a constant, dynamic series of weight shifts that keeps them upright and balanced when they let go of the coffee table and take their very first steps. Weight shifting is everything. It's the alphabet they need to learn before they can write words. And they can only learn it by experimenting, struggling, and playing on their tummy and on their back. So let's bring it back to Sarah, my friend's 10-month-old. Her case is the perfect, heartbreaking example of this entire chain reaction. Because she had spent all her playtime from 6 to 10 months old sitting, she had fantastic sitting balance. But she had never been given the chance to master weight shifting. She never had to struggle to reach for a toy while on her tummy. She never had to figure out how to get from her tummy to her back because her mom was, with the best intentions in the world, always putting her in a sitting position where she was content. This didn't just delay her physical development, it directly and catastrophically impacted her sleep. Because at night, when she naturally rolled into a position she had never learned how to get out of, her body didn't have the motor plan. She was, quite literally, trapped. Her only tool was to cry out for the person who always rescued her. Now, hearing all this, please do not think I'm saying you should never let your baby sit up. Absolutely not. Sitting is a wonderful and crucial skill. The goal is not elimination. The key is variety. The solution is so simple. It's a varied playtime routine, a simple rotation. From now on, every time your baby wakes up from a nap, or whenever you start a new play session, follow this sequence. 1. Start them on their back. Let them look around, kick their legs, reach for their feet, play with a toy arch. This is a low-pressure way to work their core and legs. 2. When they start to get a little bored or fussy, don't immediately pick them up. Help them roll over onto their tummy. This is prime time for that all-important weight-shifting practice. Encourage them to reach and play. And 3, when they start to fuss on their tummy, when they've had enough of that workout, that's your cue. Roll them onto their side and then gently help bring them up into a sitting position for a different kind of play. Back, then tummy, then sitting. That's it. This simple rotation ensures you are strengthening all of your baby's muscles. It guarantees you are giving them the opportunity they need every single day to master those foundational motor skills that will unlock everything else. If this was helpful, giving this video a like really helps this information reach more parents just like us. And to make sure you don't miss the next video, where I'll show you exactly how to teach your baby to get into and out of sitting all on their own. Hit that subscribe button. You can also save this video to come back to this simple 3-step routine anytime. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much.